The following is a CBS 6 special presentation.
Captain Shane T. Adcock served with the 25th Infantry Division, United States Army, with 2 deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. Shane and I went to high school together. We both served as volunteer firefighters in Hanover County at Station 10. Shane picked at a very early age that he wanted a life of service to others. And even after almost 20 years since he's passed, he still continues to live on through us, and his service still continues through us.
Private First Class Leslie Jackson. She was in the 115th Forward Support Battalion in the 1st Cavalry Division in the United States Army. We attended George Webb High School together, class of 2003 and 4. I can say that she is everybody's hero, and if you ever seen her, you would knew that she was a hero.
Gordon P. Young, Specialist for Company A, 2nd Battalion, Air Mobile Division. Served in Vietnam, killed in action in the Ia Drang Valley at Landing Zone, Albany. My brother was one of the best brothers anybody could have. He was a Boy Scout, grew up in the church, was a local newspaper boy. He may be gone, but he will always be in my heart. And because he was killed at the age of 21, I can never visualize him as old. He will always be young to me.
These brave men and women gave all so that our flag can fly high and proud. Today, we remember these heroes through this special tribute live on the grounds of the Virginia War Memorial. This is the Commonwealth's Memorial Day ceremony.
Good morning and welcome to the 2025 Commonwealth's Memorial Day here at the Virginia War Memorial. My name is Clay Mountcastle. I'm the director of the Virginia War Memorial, and we are very pleased that you are joining us on this special day, either in person or via live broadcast. A special welcome to the members of our military that are here with us today, both past and present. Our Gold Star and Blue Star family member guests joining us today, thank you. You're always grace us with your presence. It's always a great day to be joined by Governor Youngkin and Virginia's First Lady. Thank you all for being here with us today. As well as Secretary Crenshaw and Major General Ring, thank you for being here. See a few other friendly faces in the crowd. Former representative and great friend of the memorial, Abigail Spanberger. Thank you for being here today with us. Another great friend of the memorial, John Reed. It's great to have you here today. Thank you for being here. I don't see Congresswoman McClellan, but she's usually always here, so thank you for being here. And Deputy Secretary Reed, thank you for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you. Today is Memorial Day, a day for reflection, a day to be grateful, a day to pause our busy, often overscheduled lives to think, if only for a moment, of those Americans who have provided us a free country in which to live. A day to admit that we have it pretty darn good here in America, but it's only because an enormous price in American lives has been paid over the course of 250 years. We like to say here at the Virginia War Memorial that every day is Memorial Day. That's what we do. It's a mission that we love. Remembrance is an everyday task that we should all embrace. And I want to invite all of you to join us in making Memorial Day last throughout the year. Each in your own way. Perhaps fly our nation's flag outside your home every day. Or each night, say a prayer for those Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice and their families. When you are driving to or from work, listen to a song that reminds you of growing up in the most free, most prosperous nation on earth, and be grateful for those who made it so. In your own small way, make every day Memorial Day, because this day's purpose, its meaning, is far too vital to who we are as a nation to limit it to a single day each year. And now, please stand for the posting of our colors, the performance of our national anthem, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Post the colors. Our national anthem will now be performed by retired Master Sergeant Pablo Telemonte.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare of bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And please remain standing as Specialist Nicholas Warren of the Virginia National Guard leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I invite everybody to join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. The Virginia National Guard is always on duty, always ready to support and defend the Commonwealth. And our Virginia National Guard has also keenly felt the loss of several of its own while serving the Commonwealth and the nation. It's always a pleasure to be joined by Virginia's Adjutant General, Commander of the Virginia National Guard, and longtime friend and supporter of the Virginia War Memorial, Major General James Ring. Sir.
Good morning, all. Governor, First Lady, other distinguished guests, our veterans, our families, our Gold Star family members, and our Blue Star family members, welcome. As we gather together in this sacred place, amongst the alabaster walls and the names etched upon glass, we remember the names who have served not on behalf of themselves, but on behalf of the freedoms that we so dearly enjoy. We remember, and as we pause this day in the Commonwealth of Virginia and throughout this great nation, we remember those who served and those who sacrificed that we may readily enjoy peace, freedom, liberty, and to walk each day with the prosperity that this great Commonwealth and this great nation affords us. We remember that peace is not free. It is assured by the generations that come before us, as well in our current generation of those men and women who will give their very lives for the freedoms of others. Today we remember and we give thanks. And we are so thankful for you today that you are pausing and choosing to be with us again at this great place of the Virginia War Memorial. Thank you.
While I deeply admire the commitment and hard work that our next speaker puts in every day to serve veterans and military families across the Commonwealth, I think what I've always most admired about Secretary Crenshaw is that he is a Marine. And it pains me to admit this as an Army veteran, but the United States Marines come second to no one when it comes to holding the memory of their fallen sacred. When the Marines talk about Okinawa, Iwo Jima, the Chosin Reservoir, Hue, Beirut, or Fallujah, they do so with a deep sense of reverence, of pride, and with an understanding of the solemn duty that each Marine carries to maintain the stories of the Corps and to pass them on. Simply put, the Marines get it. Secretary Crenshaw gets it. And it's my pleasure to have him here today to provide his own remarks and to introduce our keynote speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Virginia's Secretary of Defense and Veterans Affairs, the Honorable Craig Crenshaw.
Thanks, Clay. And you're right, I'm a Marine. Lieutenant Colonel Fehrenbach, T.R. Fehrenbach, said in this book, This Kind of War, the man will go wherever his colors go without asking, who will fight a phantom foe in a jungle or a mountain range, and who will suffer and die in the midst of an incredible hardship without complaint, is still what he has and always been, from the imperial Rome to the scepter Britain to the democratic America. He is the stuff of which legends are made. His pride in his colors and in his regiment. His training hard and thorough and coldly realistic to fit him for what he must face, and his obedience is to his orders. As a legionnaire, he held the gates of civilization for the classical world. Today, these men and women are called soldiers. They're called airmen, guardsmen, sailors, and they're called Marines. So we pause to reflect on the tremendous sacrifice of those we lost while defending our country. They were called to be part of something bigger than themselves, ordinary men and women who responded in extraordinary times, in extraordinary ways. They came from all walks of life, each having a unique story on why they served, but served with a single focus. We must help future generations understand that the act of committing yourself to your country and being willing to fight for the freedom of others is among the most noble of endeavors. We acknowledge the strength of our Gold Star families. for you feel it the most. We will continue to stand with you. You know, tradition says that the memories of the fallen are raised by the living, who resolve not to let their sacrifice be in vain, but to take up arms and continue to fight for freedom when it's required. That service, that sacrifice, remind us of what makes this nation great. The freedoms we enjoy because brave men and women are willing to stand guard and hold the watch. Today we honor the fallen and we remember them. We remember all of them. It is my honor to welcome the person who has been standing the watch for this Commonwealth. Please join me in welcoming the 74th Governor of the great Commonwealth, the Honorable Glenn Youngkin.
Thank you. Thank you. How wonderful it is to be gathered outside today. How wonderful it is to stand here and reflect on a nation that was protected and built by brave men and women. And I start by thanking one of them. Mr. Secretary, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for working every day to make sure that Virginia is the best place for our veterans, for our active duty personnel, for our reservists, for our National Guardsmen, and for their families. Mr. Secretary, thank you for your service. Major General Ring, you lead with a full understanding of what it means to serve. I've had the great privilege of watching you lead men and women in many parts of this world. I've seen you comfort their families. I've seen you welcome them home. Major General Ring, thank you for your leadership. And Dr. Mountcastle, you love this place. You love this place because you honor this great war memorial. And as I look out upon these hallowed grounds, I am so grateful that you are leading the Virginia War Memorial. Thank you. To our brave servicemen and women, to our veterans, to their families, to fellow Virginians, what an honor it is for the First Lady and me to be back on this most important day at this most important place, Memorial Day at the War Memorial. It's an honor to stand here and feel the American spirit, which is here in a very particular way. And yes, as we stand here with our Gold Star families and our Blue Star families, I once again say thank you, and would you all join me in thanking them yourselves. To the families of the fallen, to those for whom every single day is Memorial Day, we cannot fully share in your sorrow or shoulder the immense sacrifice that you have borne since the loss of your loved one. But we know from Scripture that we are called to mourn with those who mourn. And so today we stand with you. We stand with you to express our collective grief and to show our overwhelming gratitude for all that your loved ones did to defend liberty and to defend freedom. We gather here today in this moment that binds us together as a community, as a Commonwealth, and as a nation to remember, to reflect, and to honor. And above all, we come together to pay tribute to every man and woman who have made the ultimate sacrifice, defending our freedom and defending our great nation. All across America today, as we lay wreaths and we gather in cemeteries and at memorials, we honor those who gave their lives so that our nation might live. At the first Memorial Day service in 1868, known as Decoration Day, future President Major General James Garfield stood at Arlington Cemetery, and he said, "If silence is ever golden, it must be here beside the graves of these men whose lives were more significant than speech, and whose death was a poem, the music of which can never be sung." And today I must confess to feeling a little of what James Garfield felt on that late May day 157 years ago. Because words of praise and patriotism and tribute seem to ring hollow in light of the tremendous sacrifice made by these extraordinary men and women. Tremendous acts of daring and courage, and yes, tremendous acts of love. Love for a nation and love for our collective freedom. And the truth is, words cannot fully capture and convey the magnitude of what they did, giving their last full measure of devotion to this great United States of America. And yet it is fitting and proper that we are here today. It is fitting and proper that we pause to reflect on the high cost of freedom and to remember those who paid the ultimate price to preserve it. Because we all too often forget that freedom is not free. Today marks the 69th consecutive year that Virginians have come together here at the Virginia War Memorial to mark Memorial Day. The Shrine of Memory, back behind us, contains the names of nearly 12,000 Virginians who were killed in action in World War II and then up through Korea, Vietnam, and the First Gulf War, and finally through the conflict that our great nation has known in this century. And as you've heard, following this ceremony, every single name, every name that is etched on the stone and glass in this great hall of memory will be read aloud as part of the Say Their Name Marathon. And we can be grateful that by God's grace, no new names have been added in the last year since we gathered last. But before their names were engraved on the glass or in the marble of this memorial, these extraordinary heroes were ordinary men and women, Virginians who loved our nation. Every name has a life story. Every name has a story that ended too early. And yet, the common theme for all of them is a patriotism that was so great they were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. They came from places like Buchanan, from South Boston, from Manassas and Martinsville, from Suffolk to Salem. Many of them were incredibly young, 18, 19, 20 years old. They had their whole lives in front of them. They were people like the Bedford boys, including Raymond and Bedford Hoback, brothers who were killed on that amazing display of heroism on Omaha Beach as we, along with our allies, liberated a nation, liberated a continent, and liberated a world from true evil. People like Captain Taylor Fellers, who never returned home from Normandy to his wife, Naomi. People like the 11 Virginians killed in the U.S. Marine barracks bombing in Beirut in 1983. They all had families who loved them. They had friends they hoped to see again. They had dreams for their future. Many of them volunteered to fight. Others were drafted, but they were all called to serve, called to wear the uniform of this great nation, and ultimately called to lay down their lives in its defense. And together they form links in an unbroken chain that stretches back to our nation's earliest days, links in a chain first formed at Lexington and Concord, to Saratoga, and then here in Virginia at Yorktown, and places like Meuse-Argonne in the forests of France, at the Battle of the Bulge and Guadalcanal, on the shores of Korea and the swamps of Vietnam, and the sands of Fallujah. Links in the chain of American valor, formed by those who were last seen storming beaches and scaling cliffs with a hail of enemy fire raining down upon them. Those who drew their last breath fighting in trenches in open fields on the Western Front and operating covert missions in the desert caves in the Middle East. This is the legacy that we are all heirs to, a legacy that liberated concentration camps and delivered a continent from evil. And it's the legacy that we together honor today. It's a legacy that we must honor. And as we plan to celebrate America's 250th anniversary of signing of the Declaration of Independence, this legacy is going to be front and center again, and it must be. And once again, we will be reminded that we owe this legacy to the courage of men and women that are the very, very best that our nation has to offer. These heroes were willing to answer this call to serve and defend the ideas and the ideals that America was founded upon. The unshakable belief that all of God's children are created equal and endowed with certain unalienable rights, and among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But these heroes fought and died not only to defend these ideas, they fought to defend a nation. They fought to defend a way of life, traditions, communities, the fabric of America, neighbors, standing for neighbors, a commitment to pursue a more perfect union. That, my friends, is the American spirit that we know is alive and well. In this American spirit, this blend of history and heritage, of high ideas and honored traditions, it's all part of the great chapters of the story that was written by these men and women whose names will be read this afternoon. In recent years, we've unfortunately learned that not everyone in America thinks that this is a story worth celebrating. And in fact, it is more common than we care to admit. Instead of singing our anthem loudly and honoring our flag daily and pledging allegiance boldly, we've seen some people tear Old Glory down. And this strain of what I might call anti-Americanism has even become fashionable in some places. And therefore it demands that on this Memorial Day, as we confront the question, can we possibly live up to the sacrifices of those who sacrificed everything for us? We must resolutely and loudly answer yes. The answer must be yes. We answer it by standing with pride for our flag and singing our anthem. We answer it by teaching our children values like honor and duty and patriotism, and telling the stories of those heroes who embody those values. We answer it and we honor the lives of those who died fighting for our freedom by the manner in which we live our own lives. On this Memorial Day in 2025, as we honor these heroes, we must recommit ourselves to the values, to the American spirit that they died in order to protect. Finally, on Memorial Day, we remember that those who died wearing our uniform came not to conquer and pillage, but to liberate and to lay the foundation for the peace that we all seek. So we also look forward to a future of peace, and we pray for a future that knows no war. And we look with expectant hope to that future foretold long ago, when they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, when nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and shall neither they learn war anymore. Before each of the heroes who were being honored at Memorial Day ceremonies across America were known to their families and to their communities and to their countries, they were known to an almighty creator. And we thank God for sending us these heroes, these men and women of valor and devotion and courage and character. And now, as they are at rest, we can take comfort in the clear fact that they are safely home in their Father's house, where there are many, many rooms. And that, my friends, is why we are gathered here today, to honor and to remember incredibly brave men and women who have secured our future by their actions. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this service. Thank you for taking times out of your busy lives to be here to honor them with your presence. And I ask that God bless and keep alive the memory of every man and woman who died fighting for our freedom. I ask that He place His hedge of protection around every single man and woman in uniform here and around the globe, to safeguard them and to safeguard their families. And finally, I ask that God bless each and every one of you. And may He always bless this great Commonwealth of Virginia and these extraordinary United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Education is a cornerstone of the Virginia War Memorial's mission, because you cannot preserve history if you do not teach it to future generations. We know that if we can help tell the stories of those who have served this nation, then some young Virginians will be inspired to serve as well. I'd like to recognize 4 special people here today who are winners of the Virginia War Memorial and War Memorial Foundation's Rear Admiral John Meraki Memorial Scholarship for graduating high school seniors and college students planning to enroll and participate in ROTC and eventually commission and serve in our military. In the past couple of years, we were able to extend our scholarships to include college students, not only high school. So I'm pleased to announce that the winners of this year's Meraki Scholarship are, at the high school level, Leonardo Valley. Leonardo lives in Alexandria and attends Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology. Leonardo will attend the University of Virginia and be a member of the Air Force ROTC detachment. He's not here today, but let's give him a round of applause. But here today we do have Owen James Hoy. Owen, if you would stand, please. Owen lives in Stafford and attends North Stafford High School. Owen will attend James Madison University and be a member of Army ROTC. Way to go. All right. And at the college level, here today we have Veronica Tiemann. Veronica, please. Veronica lives in Fairfax. She attends the University of Virginia and participates in Air Force ROTC and is majoring in cognitive science. Way to go. And also Riley McDonough, who lives in Colonial Beach. He attends Christopher Newport University, where he is a member of the Army ROTC program and majors in cybersecurity. Not here today, but let's give him a round of applause. Riley. And before we hear the service medley, let me just say, as the director here, it's always a real pleasure for me to sit up here on the stage as we're going through these ceremonies and look out in the audience and see familiar faces, friendly faces, new faces. You all are doing the right thing today. Let me tell you that. It's a pleasure to see our newest members of the military, young Army, young sailors, young airmen. It's great to have you here. Virginians of all backgrounds spread out across the hillside and up top, taking that extra time on Memorial Day to do what's right. Looking out and seeing one of my great friends and our longtime volunteers, Ralph Fields, who just celebrated his 90th birthday, is a Gold Star family member, and his wife, Betty. Ralph and Betty, it's always a pleasure to have you here. And I also want to thank parents and grandparents that brought your kids and your grandkids here today. You are doing the right thing. Your kids right now might not fully understand the purpose of the day. They might not understand why they're here on a day off, but you are showing them the way, and you are doing the right thing today. It's like Gerald and Cheryl Escobar brought their daughter Amelia up there. You all are doing the right thing today, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you all, parents, grandparents, for bringing the kids here today. And now, the 29th Division Band, Fife and Drum will perform the service medley. Now, this is a little different than what we do on Veterans Day. On Veterans Day, we play the medley, and we ask veterans to stand to be recognized for their service. On Memorial Day, we play the service medley, and we ask veterans of those branches to stand for those who can no longer be here with us today. You stand in remembrance of them. And today, since we're talking about saying their names, I would also offer, if you feel so moved, so inclined, when you stand today, say the name of one of your fallen comrades. Say the name of somebody whom which you served that made the ultimate sacrifice along the way. So with that, we will have the service medley performed by the 29th Division Band. Thank you. Thank you. I like to think that the fallen comrades that weren't here with us heard.
Thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day from the Virginia War Memorial in Richmond. We close today's program with a tribute to the men and women who served, taking you to ceremonies held at Virginia's veteran cemeteries across this beautiful Commonwealth. We will never forget.
Forward. March. Forward. Halt. Face. Right, face. Ready. Aim, fire.
Thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day from the Virginia War Memorial in Richmond. For additional information about the Virginia War Memorial and the Virginia Department of Veterans Services, please visit dvs.virginia.gov.